Areinu loimdim. Oh, people are coming on time. Baruch Hashem. Starting this year now. Shiur Amud Yomi. Maseches Kiddushin Daf Samech Amud Beis. Samech Amud Beis. That's where we are. And the topic that we're learning, the learning is Latzlochas Klal Yisrael, saving Am Yisrael through Torah. We are now Machloikes. Machloikes is always Machloikes between of Huna and of Yuda. What's Machloikes about? We saw in the Mishnah what happens if the person says to his wife, "Aret mukadeshesli al menashe eten lach musayim zuz." Yeah, you're mukadeshes to me on condition that I will give you 200 zuz. Okay. So then, when does the kiddushin start? Let's say he gave her 200 zuz. He gave her 200 zuz a month later, a year later. So then, says Ravuna, when a person says al minas, the person means to say al minas that the kiddushin starts now. What do you mean now? When he put the ring on her finger a year ago, a month ago at the beginning, the kiddushin is supposed to start then. But the kiddushin are missing, poshut, the condition. Once the condition is in, very good. Then retroactively, retrospectively, retro whateverly, lemafrea, the kiddushin really have begun then. Now that's Avuna. Rav Yehuda says no, mikanu la'abo. When a person says al minas, he means to say, looking forwards to marrying you, that if, looking forwards, in case the person gives 200 zuz, then from that point onwards, the next year, then the marriage will begin. Rashi even goes to an extreme to say that only she's miskadeshes with the 200 zuz. That's kilo the kiddushin. That's shitas Rashi. Yeah, with the other money. Now I would restart from where we from the Mesivi. We did it already, but it was rushed, and I want to do it better with you people. You deserve better service. Mesivi. We are in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think it's the 10th line. End of the line. Mesivi hareze gitech. We see a brisa, and the brisa says as follows. Now we're talking not about kiddushin, about gitin. They also argued about gitin, the same machloikis. Look at the brisa. Hareze gitech al manas shetitni li masayim zuz. This is your get on condition you give me 200 zuz. If you give me 200 zuz, megureshes, you'll be divorced. Otherwise, no. Even though the get was torn or the get got lost, right, in between, meaning on Nissan, he gave her the 200 zuz. On Nissan, he gave her the get, right? On Nissan, he gave her the get. Very nice. And he told her, condition, you give me 200 zuz. She gave him 200 zuz. She gave him the 200 zuz when? On Rosh Hashanah. But in between, the get was torn. According to Rav Huna, what did we say yesterday? Very good. Why? At the end of the day, the entire Gerushin really happened at the first point, in Nisan, Pesach. Elamai, there's a condition. So what? The condition was filled. We go back in time to the time of the get. The fact that the get was torn later, who cares? We don't need the get. Mashenkin, according to Rav Yehuda, what would be? This is not good for Rav Yehuda, this piece of information here. Why? Because according to Rav Yehuda, what do we say? That the get will only become her get in Rosh Hashanah, but then it's gone. On Shavuos time, the get flew to outer space, flushed down the toilet, torn and smithereens. So therefore, to say that the get is good, even though it's torn, could only work if the get really worked while the get was still in existence. So this is already bad news l'choiro for Rabbi Yehuda's Shita. So now let's continue. However, she should play it safe. She should be careful. She should not marry another man until what? Until she actually gives the money, obviously. Because she can't marry a guy and have relations and risk the chance that she will not give 200 zuz and she's an Eshesish. That's the story of Bathsheba and David, right? Remember that? No, seriously. He gave her a get, al menas that he dies, and David was with her. The Mechlokes, Rashi. So after he died, the Lemafreya, she was not an Eshesish. Yeah, David didn't go that far. Elamai, that was very risky on the side of David. Now let's continue. The Oitanya, another brisa. Same story. This is your get. Thank you very much. Goodbye, and not au revoir. and on condition you give me 200 zuz. Umeis. Now he died. Depends what happened first. The guy died after giving her the get. Nosno, if she managed to give him the money before he died, ain't zkuka leyovam. She's not zokuk to yovam. She's not zkuka to the yovam. Why? Who needs a yovam? A person who is an almana. But if she gave him the money, it's a good get. Gesundheit. The get retroactively no works. She gave the money. The get worked. So by the time the guy died, the husband, she was already his divorcee, not his almana. So she does need the yovam. In fact, it's also for her to be with the yovam. It's an isel koris. Now, loinos, no? Oh, what happened if she did not give the money and he died? Well, obviously, it's kukalayovam. He died before she managed to fulfill her condition or his condition. Then what? She's an almono because the get never really worked. So now she needs a yovam. But here comes Roshbag. Shim Gamliel oimer noisenes leechov oy leoviv o leechad min akroivim. Roshbag says she has to give it to the heirs. Rashi, Roshbag, the Ritva here says the Gilsa, she gives his father because they have no children. Obviously, that's the whole story, right? So she gives his father because when a person dies with no children, the first one to Yashanim is his father, reminding you of Baba Basra. If he has no father, then it's his brothers, yeah, and their nephews, v'chule. So now, in other words, unbelievable, says Rashbag, she can fulfill his condition after his death. Why? Because when he said, give me the money and then you'll be Megoreshes, me or my assets, meaning my Yoshim. Yeah, Yorish is a continuation of the Moirish. Yorish is an heir. The person who got the Yerusha is Viter like the dead one. And therefore, when he meant, give me the money, you can also give it to my relatives after my death. And then retroactively, she was Megoreshes when he was alive. Again, we see again and again, like Ravuna, that the get is retrospective. And the Gemara is going to point out the question. Ad kan lo pligi. The only machlokas between Tanakama and Rashbag, and the Demar Sova li v'lo leyoshai. Tanakama thinks that when a person says, give me the 200 zuz, he meant me, and only me, not my Yoshim. The money doesn't help me when I'm in Gan Eden. Yeah, I didn't mean my Yoshim. Umar Sovar and Rashbag thinks, afilu leyoshai. When he's made the condition, he meant give the 200 zuz to me, or whoever is, part of me, even my Yoshim. But the Kula Almamia, one thing we know for sure, according to everybody, Tno Havi. It's clearly a Tnai. We see time and again in his Brisa, maybe it's a Mishnah, I'm sorry from ignorance, but I didn't see a Gittin lately. The kids said, we see that all the Tanoim here believe that the Tnai of a get, saying Almenas, works Lemafrea, Tuvta de Rav Yehuda. This is a question we're posing a question on Rav Yehuda, which said what? According to Rav Yehuda, it's only Mikanu La'aba, from the fulfillment of the condition onwards. Rav Yehuda is pointing forwards. So what would Rav Yehuda say? Rav Yehuda, mani rebihi. Thank you very much. You scaring me with a brisa. That brisa follows Rebbe, and I don't follow Rebbe. I follow another opinion. Meaning, the Omar Rav Huna, Rav Yehuda is quoting his opponent. Rav Huna Omar Rebbe. Rav Huna quotes Rebbe to be saying, I know that. Rav Huna himself is the one who said that Rebbe is the one who said, the Tana Rebbe says, Omer Machshav Dami, meaning that the Tnai conditions work retroactively, Upligi Rabbanon Alei. And Rabbanon argue on who? On Rebbe. In other words, by the way, you have to know now, I'm preparing the ground because it's going to sound very awkward afterwards. We haven't seen Machlokas Rebbe and Rabbanon. In other words, the Amoraim say that they know there's Machlokas Rebbe and Rabbanon, right? Yeah, Vana, let me just explain. Let me continue, and then we'll finish it up once again. Vana da Amri Rabbanon, and I hold like Rabbanon. Let's just get things into order now. It's really not complicated. We have an attack against the opinion of Rav Yehuda, who said that conditions only a conditional act. Yeah, only once the condition takes place, from then onwards it works, right? Well, Rav Huna goes up Tanai lemafreya. We saw a Mishnah Mefurish LeKravuna. So what will Rav Yehuda say? Rav Yehuda said, don't worry. Rebbe is the one who believes like Rav Huna. Rav Huna follows the opinion of Rebbe, who said that it's Lemafrea, and I am telling you that Rabbanon argue on Rebbe. We haven't seen it anywhere in the Mishnah, but it says, I know that. I've seen it from Kabbalah, from Rabbi Isai. And anyway, if Rav Huna says Rebbe holds that way, mashma the other ones don't, right? So Rabbanon hold otherwise. Who do Rabbanon hold like? Like me. Rabbanon say that really all conditions work mikanu lehabo, from that point of condition onwards. And I follow Rabbanon. So what do you want from the Amoraim? Basically, Rav Huna is like Rebbe, and Rav Yehuda is like Rabbanon. So far, it's nicely done and very neat.
What would we say that it does?
Weiter. Gufa. That's where we got up to yesterday, and I'm glad we did it again to give it another lick and a promise. Says the Gemara weiter. Gufa. Yeah, I have this highlight here that confuses me. Gufa Omar Rav Huna. Oh, Gufa, you know what Gufa means? We go back on a statement. Yeah, in other words, we focus now on a statement that was mentioned before. Omar Rav Huna, Omar Rebbe. Rav Huna the Amoiro quotes what? He's quoting Rebbe the Tana that says, Kol Omer Menas, Kol Omer Machshav Dami. Whoever says Al Menas, whenever you make a condition, it's as if you said now. Meaning, once you fulfill your condition, then lemafrea, from now already you are megoreshes, mekudeshes, or whatever you want. Amar Rabbi Zera, says Rabbi Zera now. And as I told you, I'm warning you again. Nobody ever saw a Braisa or a Mishnah where this Machlokes Rebbe and Rabbanon is mentioned. The Amoraim say that they know about it, which is very respectable, but it's not written in a Mishnah or in a Tosefta. Bear that in mind. And therefore, Amar Rabbi Zera, says Rabbi Zera, he made Aliyah. Rabbi Zera, you have something in common, all of you, with Rabbi Zera. I don't, unfortunately. Amar Rabbi Zera, ki avinan beBovel, when I lived in Bovel, Hava Amrinan, I used to think, I used to believe, Hod Omar Rav Huna, Omar Rebbe, Kolo Omer al Menas Komer Machshav Dami, that we just quoted Rav Huna, that says on behalf of Rebbe, that any condition of Almenas really is retroactive. I used to think that Ligi Rabbanon Alei. I thought that Rabbanon argue on Rebbe, and they say, like Rav Yehuda, they say that conditions are forwards, not backwards. That's what I used to believe, as we just saw in the Gemara now. He believed what we have learned up until now. And all of a sudden he made Aliyah and his perspective changed. Ki salki lahosom. What's salki? When I went up there, you go Aliyah. I went up to Eretz Yisrael. Ashkechel Rabbi Asi. I found Rabbi Asi. Rabbi Asi is an Amoira of Eretz Yisrael. Is an Amoira who lived in Eretz Yisrael. Rabbi Ami, Rabbi Asi, Rabbi Yochanan. All those with the name Rabbi, if they're not Tanoim, they're Eretz Yisrael Amoiroim. That's why it's a Rabbi and not Rav. That's the difference. Ashkechel Rabbi Asi. I found Rabbi Asi the Amoira of Eretz Yisrael. The Yosef, the Ka'omer l'Mishmei Rabbi Yochanan. He was sitting down, quoting a statement b'shem Rabbi Yochanan, who was the master of the Amoraim in Eretz Yisrael. Hakol moedim, and look what they said. Hakol moedim me'omer al menas k'omer machshav dami. Wow. Everyone agrees, meaning all the Tanoim agree. It's Amoraim talking about Tanoim. All the Tanoim, meaning both Rabbi and Rabbanan, they both believe. Omer al menas k'omer machshav dami. Everybody, yes. Everyone's against Rav Yehuda. Yeah, Rav Yehuda is going to need a lot of help now. I believe that all the Tanoim really say that any condition works backwards, not forwards. You understand what I mean, backwards and forwards. I'm not going to explain every time again. So what made the confusion? Why did people think that Rebbe and Rabbanon argued? They didn't Chas v'Shalom invent it. What? Because there's a similar machlokes between Rebbe and Chachamim, which you all know because we've learned it already, and the Gemara will quote it again now. Lo nechleku, the only machlokes between Rebbe and Rabbanon in a similar thing is ela mahayoim ulachar misa. That's the previous sugya. What's mayom ulachar misa? Yom ulachar misa is a get which was given to a woman in a very ambiguous way, because the man told her, this is your get. He gave her the get with all the conditions in Beis Din, Mahadrim and Mahadrin, but that's the Charedi Sechsher. He gave her a good get, but he told her something funny. He told him, Hayoim ulachar misa. I want the get to apply, to kick in. I'm pushing the start button. Today, and after my death. What does that mean? Today and after my death? We've seen that. Says Tanakama Chachomim, the Batanya. Batanya here is a siyua. It's not a question, it's an assertion of what we say. We are supporting what we're saying. What's Machlokes Rebbe and Rabbanon about Me'ayom Ulachar Misa? Me'ayom Ulachar Misa, the guy told his wife something funny. His wife is about to divorce. Me'ayom Ulachar Misa, get the Einu get Divrei Chachomim. Good chazar for the previous sugya. Why are we not sure if it's a get or not a get? In other words, he gave her a get 2 years before he died. Things got a bit sour between them. He gave her a get and told her Ayom Ulachar Misa. 2 years later, he died. So she doesn't know if she's an almana or grusha. And we all know what's a big enough kamina. They have no children. So we all know the question is yibum, yes or no. So we say get ve'enu get. Why is it get ve'enu get? Divrei chachomim. Chachamim are not sure how to interpret what he meant. Either it means to say, once I'm dead, then lemafreya, retroactively the get works from now, and she's divorced, right? It's an action. To die is also, it's not an action, to die is a reality. If reality, by the way, tnoim are not always condition, tnoim are not always actions. You can have it now. If it rains tomorrow, two Englishmen, yeah, you make a bet, yeah. If it rains tomorrow, then already now, whatever at Mukudeshesli, a guy tells a girl, Aret Mukudeshes or Megorashes if it rains tomorrow. I'm not joking. So if it rains tomorrow, she's Megorashes. When? Retroactively. Or do we say no? Maybe he meant to say that maybe he regretted what he said. Imagoreshes now? No. Imagoreshes when I die. That he cannot do. Because you can't start Gerushin after death. Because a dead man cannot divorce. Because then you say the action of Gerushin begins after the death. That he cannot do. Again, to have death is a side condition that can be. It's going to rain, it's going to, I don't know, going to be sunny, rainy, I'm going to die. That's a fact. If I die, lemafreya, you're megoreshet. That's one way. Or maybe no. Maybe meant to say, when I die, then you'll begin to be megoreshes. He's megaresher from the caver. Yeah, he cannot do. And because we don't know what he means, Himela will say, get veinu get. This is Tanakama. Right? Remind us of Machlokes Rav Shmuel before. Yeah, besides. Now, Rebbe Oimer, Kazaget, Rebbe says no. Rebbe, by the way, is consistent. Rebbe says it's a good get, and how does it work? Lemafreya. Clearly, people don't talk nonsense. And when the person said, you are megoreshes to me, mikan u lachar misa, mayom lachar misa, he means to say something sensible, not to divorce her after his death. He means to say, that's your get now. If something nice happens later, that I die. And then lemafreya, we say it's a get. So Rebbe has no question, it's a get, and therefore she doesn't need yibum. Okay, very nice. 1 second. So Mimela, that's a machlokes tanoim. So you're confusing things. In other words, machlokes tanoim is about what? About mayom lachar misa. From today and lachar misa. Is it returning? Is it revoking? Is it the same? So we say Tanakama says we don't know, and Rebbe says yes we do. Right? Masha'enken, the other machlokes regarding almenas, when a person says on condition that so and so will happen, there, yeah, according to some Amoraim, there's no machlokes, and everyone believes it's retroactive. Now, before I'll listen to you soon, bear in mind that the Gemara, the way the Gemara is going to talk soon, the Gemara already assumes that Rav Yehuda, is not really fazed by all that. Rav Yehuda says, you don't think there's such a machlokes? You went to Eretz Yisrael, you're so inspired by the Israeli people there? I don't care. I think that there is a machlokes. I think there's a machlokes regarding almenas. Rebbe says almenas is lemafreya like you, my dear friend Ravuna. I think that there are people called Rabbanon, and they say that almenas means forwards, from that point onwards, and I follow them. It's a machlokes, whether there is a machlokes tanoim or not. Interesting. Yes, what would you like to ask? Right there. Now the Gemara is asking a very interesting question. Ula Rav Yehuda. According to Rav Yehuda, and we're about to finish the sugya with this crescendo. Ula Rav Yehuda de Omar be'almenas nami pligi. According to the Amoiro Rav Yehuda, the Tanoim, Rebbe and Chachomim did argue about almenas, meaning Rebbe says that almenas is lemafreya, and Chachomim say that almenas is mikan ulaba. Rav Yehuda says, I found my Tana. I found my favorite Tana, Chachomim. They're the majority. And they say, almanas is mikan ulabo. Correct the Gemara. So according to Rav Yehuda, how many machlokes are there between Rebbe and Chachomim? Two. One machlokes regarding almenas. It made a clear condition, but we are unclear: is it back or forth? And the other machlokes is this crazier case of a guy who gives a get and he says today and after I die. Yeah, and there Rebbe was consistent, and Rebbe said no, it always means lemafreya. Rebbe is consistent. Rebbe is always taking you back to the moment of the get. And Chachamim said ambiguous. We're not sure. Maybe this, maybe that. She's a sofek. By the way, what do you do if she's sofek? If she needs chalitza yibum misofek, what do you do to the girl? If you don't know if she needs yibum or not, what's the solution? Chalitza. Chalitza is playing it safe. The ovam doesn't touch her, and on the other hand, she goes through the process. Instead of arguing regarding Mayom Lachar Misa, the guy gave a get with this ambiguous way today and Lachar Misa, Niflagi Balmenas. Why don't they argue instead of that in Almenas? They should really argue about the inyan of the condition, if condition is back or forth. Correct? All the Rishonim are breaking their heads, excuse my language. What does one have to do with the other? Usually when we say Ad Miflagi means, why are you arguing the same thing twice, right? Well, it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. In the case of Almenas, Chachomim say, we know Almenas means from that point onwards. In the case of the Hayom Lachar Misa, Chachomim are scratching their head saying, we're not sure what it means. Is it today? Is it later? It didn't make a normal condition there. And therefore we say Sophic. So what do you mean? It's two different issues. It's like saying, why do you give Shiur in Kiddushin and also in Rosh Hashanah? Two separate issues. Yeah, that's Tosfos' question. Answers Tosfos, unbelievable. Tosfos here, and I saw Tosfos in Gittin also. I looked in both Tosfosim. He says no. Even Rav Yehuda, which follows Chachomim over here, when he says that the get or the Kiddushin only work forwards from the point of making the knife, fulfilling the knife, he really meant misofik. Wow. He meant misofik also, just like this case, misofik. He meant misofik, which means that according to Rav Yehuda, according to Tosfos, the whole time between saying this is your kiddushin or your get, almenas so and so, and the condition was fulfilled 2.5 months later. For those 2.5 months, it's a sofik. Okay. I hear. No. Okay. That's according to this chart. The Ritva argues. And the Ritva explains differently. There's a lot of back and forth. The Ritva says no. Rav Yehuda here sounds like as if he's sure that Almenas does mean later on. So what's the question? He's answering a brilliant answer, says the Ritva. Says the Ritva, we don't claim that you should only mention one machlokes, not the other. We are taking Rav Yehuda, asking Rav Yehuda, where is this machlokes? Yeah, why was machlokes mentioned anywhere in the Mishnah or the Brisa? Right? In other words, yeah, why not that we should write only one and not the other? Why is only one machlokes written? Where is the other machlokes? He claimed there's machlokes to know him. Where is it? It goes much more into detail, but that's what explains it. Answers the Gemara. You know why we dafka mentioned machlokes over there of Mayom Lachar Misa, to show you to what extent does Rebbe go. The Mayom Lachar Misa nami harei ze get, to show you that even after death, even Mayom Lachar Misa, it's a get, and she's megureshes, she's divorced right from the start, and that's a bigger chiddush. Even after that, it goes backwards. That's why I wanted to mention that. Mashenken, had we mentioned almenas of kiddushin is not post-death, is after giving money. When the person's still alive, it's less of a chiddush. So that's what we mentioned. Why don't you mention the almenas to show the koch of Rabbanon? The Rabbanon, they are more mechudesh in almenas that when you make a condition, you only start at the end. I'm going now with the Ritva actually. You only go at the end. Yeah, it's a bigger chiddush because the stronger assumption is when I say this is your kiddushin, this is your get, this is the thing with a condition, it goes backwards. And Rabbanon, why don't you mechadish their chiddush that it goes back forwards? It's more of a chiddush to say that the whole time, yeah, there was nothing happened until there was mechadish with the puta. Really, it's time zuz. Answers the Gemara, big yesoid. Koech de tera odif. Oh, the one who's more lekula is Rebbe. Yeah, in the case of the get over there, Rebbe said what? That the lady is megoreshes. She's divorced, right? Right from the start. Once the guy died, and we wanted to be mechadesh the etera, to be mechadesh the kula. Everybody can be machmir. I know a lot of people say that to be machmir is playing it safe. Let's say somebody asks you a question. I'm not joking. A nice guy who's less informed than you. He asks you a lucky question you don't know. You'd say, "Listen, I'll play it. It's in a serious matter." Of course, you'd say, I'll play it safe and say, don't do it, right? Because, yeah, but to make a heter, to paskin the heter, is more of a chiddush. Only somebody with big shoulders, like a real poisek, can really be matir. So because Rebbe's case at the end of the day is more lakula than Rabbanon, because what do Rabbanon say over there? Rabbanon say, get ve'enu get. We don't know. We're like Mesupak. We don't know whether she's divorced or she is miyubemes. And therefore, Chachamim say, let's be machmir, require chalitza. They're machmir. They required chalitza. Rebbe says, no, go out to the world, girl, wait 3 months, and then date every man you want under the sun in its nearest way, and then find your bashert. No problem, says Rebbe. Chachamim say, no, lady, got to do chalitza because we're not sure. So because over there, Rebbe comes out lekula, we preferred focusing on that machlokas and not on the one over here. But the machlokas over here is true. We just didn't mention it because we didn't find it necessary to mention. We only mentioned, but the Ritva adds, according to the Shita Ritva, it's too difficult. Why is this? So Ritva says because Rabbanon lost to Rebbe, so we didn't want to put them to shame. That yeah. So we didn't mention it machlokas because they're not halach is not like them. Interesting. Weiter. Now we keep quoting the Mishnah, and we said al menas she'eten lach. A man told a woman, "I'm marrying you now on condition that I give you 200 zuz within a month." Yeah, there's a time limit within a month. Then, if the month passed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 30, and what? No money from his side. Is she married? No. The whole bubble burst, and that's it. Why? There was a time limit, a deadline for the condition. He didn't fill the condition, no marriage. Frag the Gemara Pshita. Of course, what's a Chiddush? Mao the Tema answers the Gemara, there is a Chiddush. Mao the Tema, one would say, Lavt Nohu. Maybe when he said within 30 days, it's not part of the condition. There's a condition to give her 200 zuz, that's a lot of money. Maybe when he said within a month, he added those words, it's not mamish part of the condition, but it's zeruze ka'omar, kamash malan, zeruze ka'omar. What's the zeruze ka'omar? He wanted to basically animate himself to kind of mezares, make himself, how do you call it, encourage himself to do it quickly. Yeah, he hastened himself to make it quicker. And that's why I said, okay, I'll give it to you within a month to sound good. But maybe it's not mamish a condition. Kamash malan, it's a condition. By the way, the Meiri, I think it's not in the Meiri. I think it's the Meiri, and he says, I saw it one of the Rishonim. He says, what would be if a man supposed to give the woman 200 zuz, and 1 year passes, the other year, another year, doesn't give her 200 zuz, and she feels bad asking him for the money, or she's asking and he doesn't give her. So the Meiri says he cannot allow her to be in that situation. We force him to either give her the 200 zuz in Beis Din or to divorce him. Because he cannot play that game with her, can't play this mind game with her. She's in safek, am I married or not, for years, or I don't know at what point we start weighing down on him. She can take him to the best din, yeah, and say, my husband needs to give me 200 zuz. If not, I want a divorce. I want to get out of that limbo situation, out of that twilight zone, and she has the right to do that. Weiter, yeah. Al menas sheyeshli masayim zuz. We saw the first white line. The person says to the woman, I have 200 zuz. Al menas that I have, not that I'll give you 200 zuz. She doesn't want to get them. She wants to have, I guess she needs financial security. So what does she say to him before the wedding? Do you have 200 zuz? Oh yeah. Al menas that I have 200 zuz. So what did we say? Well, very simple. If he has 200 zuz mekudeshes, if he has no 200 zuz not mekudeshes, you have to check in Beis Din. Now the question is, do you know how much money is in everyone's accounts? No. Yeah. So frag the Gemara, you really know if he has or he doesn't have 200 zuz? People have 10 different bank accounts and investments and apartments you don't know about that will also be discussed. So frag the Gemara, before we continue, I want to ask you people, We are now saying that if we don't know that he has, I want to prepare you for the question. This guy, yeah, she claims in Din. Well, I looked online in his account, and as far as I know, he has no 200 zuz. Yeah, he has no 200 zuz. Yeah, and then what? Therefore, I'm not married because he has no 200 zuz. There's no condition fulfilled. I'm going to tomorrow. I'm marrying my other guy, Shimon. Are you sure he doesn't have 200 zuz? How do you know? And you're allowing an Ashes Ish to go out to the market, an Ashes Ish, maybe he has 200 zuz. He claims maybe that he does. She claims he doesn't. How do you know? And you're allowed under the floorboard, under the mattress, inside the chicken, frozen chicken in the freezer. Like all the stories from Nebrak. Yeah, he he has $1 million over there. You know about his account in Gibraltar? He has money there too. What do you know? Yeah. At least be concerned. Maybe he does have 200 zuz. You can't really send her to the shuk, right? Look at Rashi B'Yeshlo says mashma sheyesh edim sheyesh. Only if he has two edim that testify we saw the 200 zuz under the floorboards inside the mattress. Yeah, only then she's mekudeshes. Otherwise, she's not mekudeshes. But how do you know? Just because you don't have two edim that testify, well, it's a maybe. It's not a no, and a maybe. HSC, you're sending chas v'shalom to the market. The oid. And another question, just a knockout. Right? Chashinan shema yeshloi. Right? Chashinan shema yeshloi. There's a chashash. Maybe he has, and the Brisa does acknowledge that. The Brisa says that if we know he has 200 zuz, Yibalding, married, Mazel Tov. If we don't have two edim that he does have, what's the opposite of yes? Maybe. We're concerned maybe he has, so at least give her a get misofik. Yeah. And says the Gemara, lo kasha, enachinami. That's what our Mishnah also meant. Abi kiddush avada, abi kiddush sofek. When the Mishnah said mekudeshes or not mekudeshes, it was not being so dogmatic. It meant enachinami. If we know he has 200 zuz, she's 100% mekudeshes. If we don't know that he has 200 zuz, yeah, that it's not vada mekudeshes, she's a maybe. She's a maybe and she needs a get. It's very hard to prove when you talk to atheists or people against this. It's very, very, very hard to prove that something doesn't exist. It's much harder to prove that something does exist. Yes, in logic, even in secular logics, yeah. At least to prove to 80, 90%. Yeah, let's say I want to argue that there is pizza there. So the smell of pizza, I'll prove that there is. But it's much harder for you to prove that there's no pizza next door because maybe the reason we don't know. That's in logic. Weiter, yes, Rabbeinu? I'm listening. Yeah, I'm listening.
No.
Very nice addition by Rav Peretz, and that is Matayim Zuz is the cutoff point, the borderline between being halachically poor and not poor. So she wants to know he's not poor. She wants him not to be poor. She wants to know I'm not marrying a pauper, a poor guy. That's oh, right. So halacha views 200 zuz. I'm not regretting what I said. That obviously, if she wants 500 zuz and that's her condition, it's 500 zuz. But we picked that example not stand by chance, but because 200 zuz is the halachic definition of rich versus poor. Very, very nice. I'm going to write this as a side note. Weiter, the British team are very strong. Al menah she'er ech 200 zuz. He made a condition, I'll show you 200 zuz. And what do we say? If he has them, yes. If it's 200 zuz of other people, then no. Stana lo niskavna ela liros mishaloi, which means when she said, "Will you show me 200 zuz?" One could argue, I've heard of such a mashigas, that sometimes people just like to see a lot of money. Like, America, the dollar is a god. Just to see a lot of money is exciting for her. So maybe, he works in a bank, he works in I don't know, somewhere like that. Maybe just the sight of 200 zuz excite this very provincial girl. Kamash Malan, we don't say that. No. When she said, show me 200 zuz, again, parrots, the assumption is that most girls that say that I mean your 200 zuz, and therefore if he shows the 200 zuz of somebody else, that won't help. Now, the last but not least case before the Mishnah, if he showed her 200 zuz on the table, whatever that means, we'll see it soon, she's not mekudeshes. Pshita, of course, we know that already. We said it has to be his 200 zuz. And if he shows the 200 zuz on the table that don't belong to him, he doesn't do it to her. Thank you. I'll show you a Lamborghini. Belongs to my neighbor. Thank you. Yeah, so what does it help? Oh, Shita answers the Gemara like tzricha dafal gavdanoka dami beiska, which means a shulchan over here doesn't mean stam a table. It means the guy's a banker, investor, money changer, v'chule. Oh, so if he shows her money that he has on his table as a clerk in the bank many years ago with money on the table, right? So then she's not mekudeshes. What's the chiddush? Oh, the chiddush is as follows. Maybe the money is a little bit his. What does that mean? Let's say the money was given to him as a banker slash investor, money changer. Back then, it was all in one. Today, too, I think money changers become more than they also do many other things. So somebody gave him money to invest and told him, "This is my money, Mr. Investor. It's my money. You, if you work well with that money and you yield profit, you'll get your cut." Oh, so that's a gray area because the money is not his, but it's not totally not his. It's potentially his. Somebody invested with me now 200 zuz. And if I so and so and so, and I do this and the other, and I go around market and I sell it and advertise it, and I go to Dow Jones, then I'll become a millionaire. Oh, maybe that's appeasing enough for her. Kamash Malan, no, she wants to see cash now. She wants to be able to go to the Makolet tomorrow and buy herself yogurt and cheese and bread. She wants to be able to have the money now and not the chveshnish investment and stories and dry. That's not what she meant, but it was a havamina. It was a havamina. It wasn't completely foreign money. Kamash Malan, when the woman said and the man said to her at the wedding, Al menat sharech 200 zuz, he means his 200 zuz, completely his 200 zuz. Okay, weiter. No, she didn't. No, she doesn't get that money. That money, that's the second case of the Mishnah, the second series of cases. When she didn't say, give me the 200 zuz, she wants to know that he has it. She wants to know that he has the 200 zuz. Show me that you have 200. No, she's not asking to get the 200. No, the ring, the tabas, she got to in the Kiddushin, she got to show the pota. Nothing to do with that. No, he was at mekudeshesly with a ring on the finger. Al minat sharech masayim zuz. Yeah. No, no. That was Rashi according to Rav Yehuda in the first case. Now we're not talking here. That's not the case over here. She's not asking to receive the 200. She wants to know that he has it, and she wants to see that he has it. That's all. But the Kiddushin took place before. Okay, you can say maybe the argument of Rav Yehuda Avuna would be the same. Here, let's say she only saw it a month later. Okay, the same machlokes. Is it lemafreya Rav Huna or mekan Rav Yehuda? Fine, later. I agree. But Lemaisa, all she wants to know is to see. She's not asking to have it. She says, "I believe you'll be a good provider. I want to see that you have the funds." Makes sense. Says the Mishnah. Al menat sheyesh lebeis kol ofo. A person says, "I wish we had more time because actually I made the calculation yesterday. Believe it or not." But a base kol ofo is a very large piece of land. And it is a base kol. If we have time, I will go back to the Rashi, I promise. Base kol ofo is a large area of land, 17,280 meters square, according to Chaim Noe, 24,883 square meter, according to Chazonish. Any American people here? So the first one is about 4 acres. The second one is about 6 acres. Okay, that I did that homework before. I taught it in yeshiva, which is 95% American. So I did my homework. It wasn't me. I got the numbers from a sefer who has the cheshbonis. It's not my math. Anyway, so basically, a person says, "Al menat sheyesh li beis kol ofo." With the condition that I have a very large piece of land. You don't know. I can build the fanciest hotel in the world and an airport, and then a NASA station. She's mekudeshes, providing that he has that piece of land. What's the chiddush? We'll see. Al menas sheyesh li b'mokum ploini. Al menas, he says that I have a piece of land, a large piece of land in a specific place. Yeah, between Ranana and Netanya. Right there, he has that midway between. You like that place, Alan? Exactly middle between Ranana and Netanya. Yeah, for Saba. That's where is the piece of land. Okay. If he has in that place the piece of land mikudeshes, which means if he has exactly the same piece of land, same style of piece of land, but between Yerushalayim and Bet Shemesh, no. She wanted a specific place, and so it shall be. Otherwise, he didn't fill the condition. No condition, no kiddushin. Al menas she'ar ech beis kol ofo. Same idea. Al menas that I'll show you a beis kol ofo harei zo mekudeshes ve'arena. She's mekudeshes, providing you'll show her the what the piece of land which is his. That's like showing her the 200 zuz. The imhera babika ene mekudeshes. If you showed her the piece of land in a valley, in a plain, a bika always is a plain with many fields, like a valley plain with a few fields, one next to the other, field area. And he showed her, oh, I'll show you a field. It's not his field. I'll show you a big field. I'll take you to a tour, a nice romantic tour. I'll show you a field, but not my field. It's not what I meant. I didn't mean to say I want to have the excitement of seeing a big field. I want to see that you have a big field because I want to marry a stable, financially stable guy. Let's put it this way. Says the Gemara. Back the Gemara again, the same question as before. Why are you so quick to judge and say that if he doesn't have those 6-acre land, why do you say she's automatically not Mikudeshes? Maybe he has them somewhere else. Yeah, she claims he doesn't have. Yeah, we don't have 2 Adim that said we saw the piece of land. Okay, but maybe he does. How do you know? Maybe he has a piece of land in Turkey. Yeah, the Oitanya, and there is a brisa to support the question. Yes, if we don't have 2 Adim that he does have, the opposite of yes is maybe Eshes Ish. Answers the Gemara, Lo Kasha, or Bekiddush Vada, Bekiddush Sofek, Enochinami. Yeah, that's Vada, that's Sofek. In other words, when we say Mikudeshes, we meant the 2 Adim who come and tell us we've seen 2 kosher Mehadrin Yira Shamayim Adim, and what do we say? These 2 Adim clearly say we saw he has a base code. We measured it, 6 acres. Nice. If there are no 2 Adim, so maybe means she needs a get. Eina Mikudeshes means she's not Vada Mikudeshes. She's a maybe Mikudeshes, she needs a get misofik. Now, frag the Gemara, lama li lamit nega be'ara, velama lamit nega be'zuzi? Why did the Mishnah have to repeat itself? Because what we saw in the previous Mishnah was about money, and now we see about a piece of land, but it's the same mechanism exactly, right? Now you're going to tell me also a bike and a car and a table and a chair. Why does the Mishnah have to get verbose and say the same thing exactly about money and about land? That if he has it, then yes. If he doesn't have it, it's a maybe. Yeah, answers the Gemara. Sricha. Money and land is b'chlal not the same. Why? The Ishmin and Gabi Zuzi. Yeah. Let me ask you a question before we continue. Do you know how much money is there in I don't know, your friend's account? No, you don't know exactly, I assume, yeah. But do you know if he owns a house or not? Most cases, yes. His own house, yeah. Maybe he's renting, but if you know enough about people, you know if people own houses, you know if they own a piece of land or not, much more than if you know the amount of money that they have. People don't go out saying, I have this and that amount of money in the account. And says the Gemara, Tzricha. The Ishmael and Gabi Zuzi, first wide line. Had we only said that about money, we should David inche de matznei. A lot of people hide the money, they hide the assets. You think that the poor, There was a woman, you know that there was in the Koisel once, I heard as a child, I don't know if it's true or not, but it could be true because they say that a penhandler, she was a beggar and it was a disease. They found a lot of money in her house. She used to beg in the hotel, that's good money. And she had a very significant amount of money in her house that they found after she died. So she was actually rich, but she still kept panhandling. So you never know. Maybe he has money that you don't know about. And it's likely that people hide their assets, their money, the cash. Aval ara, when it comes to piece of land, ema, a piece of land, I would say, ide isle ara. If there was a piece of land, then kala isle, then it would be famous. When people own land, people know about it. You can actually go online nowadays and see it very easily. Yeah. And therefore, the piece of land I would have said, and what's enough kamina? The maybe case. By the case, what did we say? In both cases, we said, if there are no 2 Adim who say, we testify b'shem Hashem that he has the money, and we don't know, it's a suffix. So she still needs a get. One would argue and say, wait a second, with cash, I agree with you. Cash, people don't know. There are no 2 Adim that he has cash, so what? Maybe he has cash, as you said, under the mattress, under the floorboard, below the, I don't know, freezer, I don't know. Mashe'enken, piece of land, people usually know. So maybe if there are no 2 Adim that he has a piece of land, it's not a maybe. If it's not known that he has land, Probably he doesn't have land. He hid the land in his little pocket. Land is something big you can't hide in as a call. So maybe if we don't know if she's clearly not married, maybe the opposite of yes is a no. If you don't know it's a piece of land, Mistome doesn't. Otherwise, it's a well-known thing. So maybe she can go scot-free in half a second and marry whoever she wants if you don't know. KML Kamash Malan, we don't say that. Kamash Malan, that piece of land, and at the end of the day, you never know. He may have some property, he may have some apartment. You know where he has an apartment? In Luxembourg. He has an apartment in the northern Scotland. Maybe he has a piece of land you don't know about. And therefore, although there are no two Edim who say that he does have, the opposite of yes is a maybe. Maybe he has a piece of land you don't know about. It's true. Normally people know about these things, but not always. People may have some lochen, I don't know, some kind of apartment they don't want people to know about, a piece of land. You never know. And therefore, we play it safe. And if you don't know, you still give her a get because it's a maybe mekudesh. Weiter. Al menas sheyesh li b'mokum ploini, im yesh lo v'chuli. So what did we say? He made the condition, al menas, that I have a piece of land in Kfar Saba. Came out that he doesn't. What does he have? He has a piece of land in Telstone. Okay, same size, but a different place altogether. And therefore, no condition, and therefore what? And therefore, no marriage. It's almost a rhyme. No condition, no kiddushin. Fine. What's the chiddush? Of course. What are you coming to tell me? Answers the Gemara. Ma'adetema. One could argue and say, Omar Lo, he can tell her, my nafkalach mina. What do you care? What do you care, lady? What do you care? Ana tarachna umeisina. I will be toreach. I will work hard, and I'll bring the goods from the field to our house. Kamash Malan. Let me explain. You know why this lady is insisting so much on having a piece of land in Kfar Saba? Because that's where she lives. They're intending on starting the new nest in Kfar Saba. And she says, I want your field to be close to home. Yeah, I want you to have a field close to home. You'll work the field, or today you will take the rent from the renters, or work in high tech over there, whatever. I want everything to be close by. Yeah. And really, his field is far away in Telstone. So she's not happy with that. But Havamina would be, you would tell her, what do you care? I'm the working guy. I'm bringing the bread and you bake it, as they say, right? I will be torach. It will be my headache. I will go to work the field there in Telstone and whatever, till the earth, do everything. And I bring us home beautiful bread, beautiful wheat, and beautiful parnosa. It's my headache. It's my nonsense, not yours. What do you care? Kamash Malan, we don't say that. We don't say that. We don't say that. And we say if the condition was with location, if location was part of the condition, then location is a condition. If location is too far for her, then it's not good and it's not it's not kiddushin. If it's closer to home, then maybe it's good, according to that. According to Rashi, that's the idea of distance. L'chayr here too. Last but not least, you have a question. You want to wait a minute and then al menas she'arech beis kur. Yeah, sharech beis kur. Tana, Alpha, what did we say? Yeah, I want to see a base cool. Yeah. Aret mukudeshesli on condition I'll show you a base call. Yeah, 6 acres. Ma'adetema, one would say, no, sorry. Tana says the Brisa, lo niskav nezu elalois mishaloi. When she said she wants to see a base cool, she's not being like a little girl who wants to visit Disney World. She wants to see his core, not just to see the site of the core. She wants to see his. One more, and then questions. If he showed her a field that's not his, pshita. Of course, if the field is not his, well, what's the story? We already understood that. Pshita answers one, no, lo, it's necessary. The nokit bedistura arisus. He is an oris in the field. What does it mean? It's not his field. He works in the field, but he's not a black worker. He's not a worker 9 to 5 who gets 40 shekels an hour. He's an oris. What's an oris? Sharecropper. So it's not exactly a partner, but he takes percentage. It's much more respectable to be an oris. Yeah, it's a higher job and more money. Yeah, he's almost no. It's yeah, and every year, yeah, I've been an oris, I work here, and I get 30-40%. We assume that when the girl says, "Show me a base score of ofo," she means to say your base score ofo, and anything less than that is not worth it. Similar like with the Shulchani. Investment, partnership. I want to see your things. Okay. Yes, Ellen. What's the question? Here. So we've just arrived to the end of the Amud. Mirza Hashem on Sunday. See you on Sunday, Mirza Hashem. Samech Aleph Amud Aleph. Hopefully we'll get to the Mishnah. Thank you so much, and I hope everyone's okay with a good time, with a new time. Thank you, and Hatzlacha. Thank you to all our YouTube viewers, and mainly to the Heilige Torah anytime. Thank you, Hatzlacha. Have a good Shabbos.